Welcome back to another episode of the Chief Lego Fanatic. Today we are going to be building the Back to the Future DeLorean. Alright, stated this a couple of times recently just because there's so many great sets coming out. I was born in 1984, so kind of an 80s kid. This series started around the time that I was born, but still, the Back to the Future series has been one of my favorite movie series as long as I can remember. So to have this set come out made my day. So I absolutely had to order this the first day that it came available. So we have set number 10300. It's rated for 18 plus. It's 1,872 pieces. It's the Back to the Future DeLorean. As you can see, the front is just a picture of the DeLorean in the original Back to the Future configuration. Neat thing about this set, and it shows it more on the back, is you can actually show it in any configuration from the three movies. So you have the original Back to the Future, you have Back to the Future 2 with the Mr. Fusion on the back, and then the Back to the Future 3 where it has the circuit boards strapped to the hood of the car. So that's really neat. As you can see on the back here, you can put it into hover mode from Back to the Future 2. The wind or the gull wing doors actually work. There's a couple extra stuff like the hoverboard and a box of plutonium. Obviously, you have a light up brick for the flux capacitor, and then minifigs for Marty and Doc Brown. So I'm super excited to get into this. Let's get the box broken open and see what's inside. I'm gonna have to ask you guys to excuse the mess in the background during that last shot. It was recently my eldest daughter's birthday, and I forgot that we still had all the boxes in here, and I haven't broken them down yet, taking them to the dump. The joys of working in my garage. Anyways, here we have the instruction booklet. I'll start with these because these are always my favorite thing. Yay, decals! It has the license plates. It looks like we have the decals for the interior, the hoverboard, our little nameplate, the top lid for the plutonium. And I'm guessing this is the cover for the flux capacitor. Makes sense? All right, and then we have the actual instructions. We have our parts list in the back. Let's see, a bunch of different things in different languages. Showing off what it looks like at the end. Looks like the end is kind of the, there's a block here that you put in order to prevent it from going into hover mode, I think. There's a reason it has you take them off. A little nameplate. Looks like this is all the circuit boards that go on the hood. That's what these are. This is the motor in the back, or the Mr. Fusion goes. Our license plates. The wheels. There's our Mr. Fusion. The hood looks like that's where you store the plutonium and the hoverboard. The hook from the original movie. Let's see. Oh, this is a neat little kind of discusses how you swap between the three different models. Really tempted to buy 2 more so I can have all 3. It tells you where to empty out each bag. That's new. These are all panels on the outside. Gives some information about it. Click, click. Windshield. Looks like these are the doors. Nice gull wings. There are some people that have taken the gull wings and actually made a slight modification to them so that they'll actually stay up. May have to look into that part of my build. That's the steering wheel. Chassis. More chassis, fenders, parts of the chassis. Looks like it's mostly chassis, which makes sense because it's a car. It's more chassis and like random facts. So this is the mechanism for the wheels. Yeah, all mechanism to start with. Makes sense that the beginning is going to be the chassis of the car. Let's see, in the very beginning, it talks about the history of the movie, why the car is so iconic, the designer, how they designed it, what went into it, which makes sense for these type of sets. All right, so bags 1 through 10 is the main chassis. Bag 11 is how you is swapping between the 3 models. And then we just start with bag 1. All right, I'm super excited. Let's get going. I just finished up bag 4. I want to stop and point out some really neat stuff. Obviously, we have our 2 minifigs from bag 1. You can kind of see how this is coming together. You can see where the seats are going to go. I believe this is going to be the back panel where the time machine sits on top of. Can't really think of anything else this would be. So you can see how obviously very clearly this is one end, this is the other end, the front and back. However, you have the mechanism underneath. Now, if you know anything from the movies and the very end of the first movie, Doc gets a conversion when he goes to the future that allows the DeLorean to hover. Now, they did is they put this handle here in the center, which allows you to shift it. So I assume that the wheels are going to snap in here, and that will put the wheels into hover mode. And then you move the lever back, and it pushes it back. Doesn't quite work as well as I would think that it would. Maybe I've got a mistake in here somewhere. Doesn't help this rubber band's misplaced. So I might have to shift where the rubber bands are. That might be part of the problem. But yeah, it's coming on very well. I'm definitely enjoying building this set. All right, let's keep going.
And I had that price on that row in that same period of time.
So I think this is actually a new piece by Lego. As you can see, it's actually angled, so it ends up sitting like this. I have never seen a piece like this. Maybe somebody else has. If so, please say something in the comments. But it's always fun to come across new and unique pieces that Lego has decided to add.
We go to the meeting with protocol.
Also present, Paramount executive Michelle Manning.
I had just started at Paramount. I was the senior vice president.
It's pretty awesome the amount of detail that's in this set. This is the rear end of the car. Obviously, it's not complete yet, but you can see the taillights, the blinkers, the undercarriage part. And on the front end, you can see obviously the bumper, the headlights. It's AMC, I think it was, or it's not GMC, but the manufacturer's tag that goes in the front. This set just gets better and better as I go on.
wasn't just any novel. This page-turning, hard-edged detective story became...
So here's another interesting part usage by Lego. This is typically like an anchor or a it's used to pull things. Now they added this extra little piece here so that it connects in. Put it on here, and now you have your flux capacitor. It's really smart.
a movie 2 years later.
Joe Leland, detective, prowling a city full of junkies, prostitutes, and
So I'm having to do a little bit of disassembly. I have extra pieces, and I have to figure out where exactly they go, which is always a fun exercise. However, it's kind of neat that they have this. This is basically a button that pushes the light to actually turn on the light behind the flux capacitor. So it's a neat little thing that I can point out while I'm making some corrections. And here we have the gull wing doors. These are really neat. It's kind of interesting. Some of my fellow Lego builders were complaining that the doors don't stay up on their own. That seems to be staying up pretty well on its own for me. I mean, it slides down a little bit when it moves, but I still like it. It's really well done how they made the struts for the windows. Has all in one piece. And you can see the button. Here's the button I was talking about earlier. And it turns on the light for the flux capacitor. So that's really neat. All right. Looks like the next section is mostly going to be the wheels. Oh, we'll see. There's not much left to go. Here we have the finished product. As you can see, it looks like I have a whole bunch of extra pieces, but actually, in order to convert this to one of the other modes, so to add the Mr. Fusion on, to swap out the wheels, so on and so forth, you actually have to disassemble this and use some of the same parts. For the wheels, they use the same tires, and a lot of these pieces are for like the hubcaps for the white center tires from the third movie. So that's why it looks like I have a whole bunch of extra pieces. For me, that's kind of frustrating. I was hoping that it would be a relatively easy swap back and forth, but I guess not. And I guess it saved Lego a little bit of money by the 6 or half dozen or so pieces that wouldn't be reused. But out of my giant stack of extra pieces that I have, they easily could have made up for that. But either way, really fun set. I'm glad I'm adding it to my collection. May end up having to go buy 2 more so that I can end up displaying all 3 at the same time. Otherwise, I managed to make a trip to a Lego store, so I picked up some really neat sets. So be looking forward to those in the future. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.